Hello and welcome to my video all about how to make a series of leather drop earrings. My favourite jewellery items have always been bold statement drop earrings that incorporate simple shapes. And today I'm going to be showing you 4 different designs. The best thing is that these pairs of earrings shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes of crafting time to make. Okay, so what materials and tools are you going to need? Well, first you're going to need either leather or faux leather pieces. I personally used a mix of both, and these mainly came in the form of leather scraps and small samples off eBay. I also used an awl for making holes in the leather, some scissors, an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat, a utility knife if you're planning to cut thick pieces of leather, a metal ruler, some super glue, a short piece of invisible thread, some jewellery pliers, some jewellery findings such as earring hooks, earring posts and jump rings, a piece of paper, a pen, and a variety of circular objects that you can draw around, such as coins or reels of thread, or you could use a compass. The first design I'm going to show you is a pair of simple geometric earrings. I drew around the base of a thread reel onto my cream coloured piece of leather using a pen. I did this twice and then cut out the 2 circle shapes with scissors. I then wanted to cut out 2 semicircle shapes. To do this accurately, I wanted to make a paper template first, so I drew around a coin onto a piece of paper. I then cut it out and cut the circle in half. This gave me a paper template to use to cut out 2 semicircles from red leather. I then do pretty much exactly the same again, but I use a larger commemorative coin to make the larger template. So this time I cut 2 larger semicircle shapes out of the red leather. I then use the smaller paper template again to cut 2 semicircles out of the cream leather. All in all, I ended up with 8 leather shapes. Before final assembly, I then had to superglue the smaller cream-coloured semicircles onto the larger red semicircles, and then I left this to dry. Once that's dried, place the leather pieces onto a cutting mat. Then use an awl to insert a hole at the top and bottom of each leather piece, except for the piece at the bottom of the earrings, which only needs a hole at the top. Try not to put the hole too close to the edge or you might tear the leather. The holes must be big enough for jump rings to go through. Then use your jewellery pliers to open a jump ring using a twist motion and insert it through the top of one piece and the bottom of another. Then close the ring. Do this to connect all the pieces. You'll need to do this twice for each earring to connect all the pieces. For the top piece in the earrings, you'll need to attach an earring hook instead of a jump ring. And that completes the earrings. For the second pair, I made a fringed leather design. To do this, I drew around the base of a reel of thread onto a piece of black leather. I did this twice and then I cut the 2 circles out. I then cut out 4 identical rectangles of gold faux leather. These rectangles measured about 3 by 6 centimeters. Then cut 2 short pieces of invisible thread, no more than 10 centimeters long. Place the ends of these pieces of thread into the center of 2 of the leather rectangles. You only want these pieces of thread to lie in the top third of the rectangle shapes, and they need to run lengthwise down the centre. Then you superglue the thread ends into place and sandwich them between two rectangles. So in summary, you glue the rectangles together in pairs with a piece of invisible thread sandwiched in between. Once this is dry, take your scissors and curve the top corners of the gold rectangles. Just make sure that you don't cut the thread. Then, to make the fringing, make lots of straight parallel cuts at the bottom of these rectangles, like so. To finish these earrings, you need to take your two black leather circles and then superglue earring posts to the centre of them. But just before you press the post onto the leather circle, lay the invisible thread across the centre. You'll want to have around 1 centimetre of thread between the gold leather pieces and the black leather circles. And you'll want to make sure that this distance is the same for each earring. Leave the glue to dry and then cut off the excess thread. You've now finished the second pair of earrings. The third pair of earrings I'm going to make are in the Art Deco style. You first need to draw and cut out your desired shapes in paper. I went for a 3-piece triangular design. To make the template shapes symmetrical, fold the paper in half before drawing and cutting the shapes. Then use an X-Acto knife and metal ruler to cut these shapes out of 3 different colours of leather on a cutting mat. My 2 metallic leathers are faux leather and the brown leather is real. Then simply use an awl to insert a hole into the top of each piece. Use jewellery pliers to open the jump ring by twisting and push it through the holes at the top of 3 leather pieces. Close the jump ring and then attach an earring hook to this ring. Then just repeat this again to make the other earring, and now you've made your third pair. I also made a 4th pair of earrings that look like orange slices. So I cut out 4 circles from faux leather. And then some segment shapes from a lighter orange leather. I then placed 2 orange slices back to back and glued most of the way around the edge with superglue. I then just glued the segments to the circles to make 4 orange slice designs. I then inserted a small amount of stuffing and glued up the gap in the edge. This gave it more of a 3D shape. I then repeated this for the other pair of orange slices, made a hole in the top and added some earring hooks. And that's it, that's how you make 4 very easy earring designs from leather. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and thank you very much for watching.